Well, hello everybody, you wonderful mother truckers, and welcome to another very quick, very impromptu live stream, which I seem to be doing on a fairly regular basis. And welcome to the Sadako 24, Herman the Tosser, Dougie Sayers, Leslie Ann, and Martin Cook, and to all the others who've quickly jumped on while I've just come out of the blue, as again, to try and keep you all on your toes. And I hope that you're all well. Evening, G. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you very much, Martin. We are doing all good. Everybody is okay and wonderful. I hope the same is for you and yours. In fact, I hope that everybody is fine and hope everything is going a-okay with all of you. And welcome to yet another quick impromptu stream. I did release a video this morning, but for the last 2 days, I've barely done anything. Been really, really busy. It is what it is, I guess. Life gets in the way. And after that video, I thought I've got a small window of opportunity here just to pop on, check in, make sure you're all okay, give you a chance to, if you want to have a little chat yourselves while I just go over the few basic things that have happened, because there's so much has been going on in the 2 days. I shouldn't take 2 days off. When I take 2 days off, everything happens. It's funny that. It's the way it goes. My alerts actually work, mate. Martin, will miracles never cease? Good evening, Shilwall. Welcome. Hello, Denise. Welcome. I know some people must be actually getting notifications that I've gone live. Does that mean that YouTube is actually doing something right for a change? It would be nice, wouldn't it? Any case, so let's. I just need some time offline. I think Twitter is depressing me lately. Sadako, it's as much as I am happy that Twitter has gone to freedom of speech, it has gone back to being a cesspit. I'm currently having a rather interesting discussion with a lot of people because I didn't let my child, my youngest daughter, go to the local mosque because, apparently I'm a bad, evil person, and my child is going to grow up as thick as 2 short planks, apparently, because I'm a bigot. Sometimes I do wonder. Now I only knew you were live because of Twitter. Oh my God, it did something right there as well. It's unbelievable. Lazy devil. I know, it's terrible. It's terrible. But I had a few things to do at home and to get sorted out. And I'm a bit busy tomorrow morning because it's my second grandson's Father's Day brunch. His dad unfortunately can't make it because he's working. So I've been given the honour of going to have breakfast brunch with my little grandchild that is preschool. So that should be fun. So a little bit of a giggle. So first thing in the morning, going to be a bit busy. But other than that, we'll see how things go. I've not seen your video from this morning, though. It's okay. It's there. It's there. Feel free. Caught me a bit on the hop, which is another reason. One of the other things I'll have a little chat about. Hello, little kitty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm all good. Yourself? Hope things are okay. Good evening, fellow patriots. Good evening, Monty Mop. Welcome on board. So let's go first with obviously the exceedingly sad news about the Air India crash today. Even though the media have gone a little bit over the board, I've had a good look at the videos that have been circulating, and there is a lot of questions on why that vehicle crashed. The runway it took off is a really, really long runway, one of the longest in the world, actually. I don't know. Apparently, Martin can answer. Apparently, he jumped out of the fire escape. I don't know how he happened, but so it's got a very, very long runway. For some unknown reason, they didn't want to use the long runway. They used half of it. And if you watch the video that's available, as it's taken off the runway, it's struggling to get up. The biggest question is if you watch that video and the one where it flies over the top, which was the very first video that launched, where you see it looking out the window and the plane goes over and sadly drops into the ground. There's a few things that are not right on that one. One, you can't hear the engines squealing away. which is weird. 2, they've made no attempt to raise the landing gear at all. And 3, the flaps are up, which is not the position. It's not the position that aircraft should be in on that takeoff. Plus, apparently, it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so the air temperature was very high, and also it was at 3,000 feet altitude above sea level, so it was very hot and heavy atmosphere. And hi, Hayabusa, welcome. Hello, Jeff, welcome. So for it to do a very short runway takeoff with no flaps, it was a recipe for disaster, I'm afraid. Yes, Monty Mop. Hello, Pom. Yes, Monty. Monty Mop. I do know a lot about aviation. I did work at Birmingham Airport. It also is one of those, those sideline hobbies. I love aircraft. I love aviation. Yeah, I did mention it a while ago. So it's taking off on an unnecessarily short takeoff without its flaps down. Heat and altitude of the airfield, it should have at least, I don't know, 10, maybe 15% flaps. It didn't have any flaps down at all. And it just clearly couldn't make it. I do believe. No? I thought the bell was here. Bella! Bella! Hello? You coming in? Come on then. Bella's joined us. I know we're short. If you get to the end of the runway, you're not airborne, surely. No, Pom. For some unknown reason, that runway actually on the thing is a really long runway. But for some unknown reason, they did an intersectional takeoff, which is halfway down the runway. And, yeah, it should have had nearly at least 10, 15% flaps. But no. There's something wrong you need to book. Exactly. And you can see there's a huge puff. If you watch the bit where it's taking off on the runway, there's a huge puff of dust, which that's the end of the runway as it's trying to get up. There's a lot of questions there how that aircraft was in a bad position. It really was. It was in no position at all. Hold on a second. I think Belle wants to come up. Come on, Belle. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Oh, there we go. Come and join the stream again. Yeah, I know. There you go. So yeah, who was on that plane? Well, 53 British passport holders. Let's put the dog back down. Off you go, Belle. Go on then. So yeah, so there was something massively wrong with that takeoff. And apparently one person actually survived. And he said he jumped out the emergency exit. Sometimes does show the faith in things, I guess. Hello, Lord Jim Dandy. Welcome. The Bell Pub at Harborne is a nice pub to go to. It is a nice pub. It is a nice pub. If there was another mile from the runway, if there's another mile of free field behind the runway, the plane would have simply landed. As I said, looking at it, its flaps weren't down. They never made, even if they got up, they didn't even make any, because as soon as you get up off the ground, you want to be bringing the gear up because of the drag factor of the gear. The investigation will clear it up, but it wasn't in a position. Yeah, the man who got off said that I just have to hurdle air bank. Could be compressor stall, so it could be the worst case scenario. You haven't got your flap set for some unknown reason. You've left your gear down, so you got massive drag. And the loud bang, if it's a compressor stall, you've lost thrust. But the thing is, if it's only one engine, it would have veered off to the side, and it didn't. It just went flat. So that would, therefore, if it's that, it would have lost both engines. Don't know. It sounds a bit dodgy. He had his mobile. But I'm like that with the guy who got off the plane. Apparently, fully loaded with fuel. Yeah, it was loaded up with almost maximum fuel for a 9-hour flight. So, yeah, the lone survivor. I know what you mean. Hold on a second. If you could just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Someone at the door. Don't worry, it wasn't anything suspicious. What investigation? Yeah, little kitty here. It will be investigated. It has to be investigated. The International Air Investigation Team will be demanding an investigation. So there will be an investigation into this. So sad news. And no air crash is anything other than really, really sad news. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. So after getting rid of that crashing fire, let's get on to oh yeah. Ireland seems to be burning right at this moment in time, does it not? Remember the German wings crash? That was horrific. I do. I remember that well. Heard a couple of pilots saying the flaps were configured as so the engine is on. They remain down unless they need to be up due to desize. Yeah. Yes, Pom. On that aircraft, you have to, if you have to put them in the position that you want them in when you do your thing, so the pre-flight configures it. Something's gone really wrong with that. Hello, Martin Jevons. Good evening, Costa del Tipton. See what happens when we retrieve the black box. Of course, we will find out more details as they are. They don't normally withhold crash investigations because it's a lessons to be learned. I know, as a railway guy for many years, yes, well, yeah, but usually, to be fair, airline crashes are the investigations are very good, very thorough, because obviously it's safety issues. So I have no issue with an investigation into the air crashes. They've never really fudged one. So yet to count all the dead on the ground. Yep, sadly there will be. Can't say how much love for Ireland. It seems to be an anti-Semitic hole. Yeah, but they're not taking immigration too good, are they? And as far as I can see, you see the difference between the Irish and us is the Irish still remember how to resist. It's recent history to them. They remember how to do things, and they are still have the skill set. Was the power cut off deliberately? What? Is that the plane? Sorry, I'm holding two things. Conversations. Bonkers Britain 2025 said black box is racist. That's true. Hello from Belfast. On tour in Essex, lol. Hello, Wu-Tang, welcome. Same in the UK, it's not the British, it's the Boglims. Absolutely. Hey, hi, Mike. How's everything going? Got vacation plans for the summer? Yeah, I have. I'm off to Devon. I always vacation in this country. I spend my money in the country I live in. And I have no intention of going abroad, nor in reality does Mrs. G. Mrs. G is quite happy to stay. So, yes, I'm in Devon. We're going to Devon end of August, I think. Yeah, so I then have to leave the house in the capable hands of my son, one of my eldest sons. So, yeah, that'll be fun. I still say, but yeah. So, the Irish are resisting. And believe it or not, someone showed a video, I don't know if you see on TikTok, where the Irish Garda have gone over to Pakistan to recruit Pakistanis to join the Garda. And the whole idea of the reason they're doing that is the problem is they know eventually the Irish police force will not want to do what they're doing. So they're importing foreign police officers to do the job. Recently, one of the Garda guys who was pictured there was actually a soldier from Afghanistan, as in the opposition. And that's the exact same reason why our police have been deprogrammed or reprogrammed into what they are now, because they don't want the police to turn against the government. So that's why they're filling them with ideologues, sacking officers who are just really good at their job because they didn't treat people with respect and courtesy. You could see where it's going. they said the government's realised that their police force will eventually go, I'm not doing that anymore. So they want to replace them with another police force. The modern UK police seem to be required to be fair. They're weakening them on purpose. They really are working to that purpose. They want them weak. They want our police force weak and ineffective so they won't turn against the government. That's exactly what is going to happen. And you can see that the Irish police realise that they're in trouble, and it won't be long before they start to say, we're not doing this. Just when it seems to get worse, the UK economy contracts by 0.3%. And hello, OG. And of course, she would have already known that before she did that stupid statement. Holy shutter quarter of live stream. Hello, PD Rich. You did indeed. And there's still a bit of time to go on it. So well done. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do the new police force wear brown shirts? Yeah, I would imagine so. It's just seen Craig Houston. He was told that two boys grabbed her, took her into the garage where a 28-year-old was waiting. The two of them have been arrested and charged with the sexual assault of that little girl or that young lady. And but of course, as you can see already, the media is already rounding on the Irish and blaming them. It's Southport all over again. Remember, they're all far right thugs, and the demonstrations of riots are because of far right thuggery, and it's all the protesters' fault because they don't understand. They just don't understand. But as I said, they forget that the Irish still have how to resist quite freshly in their minds, and they also, which would be a bit more of a worry than here, is the Irish still remember how to do things, violent things. Now, that's not me condoning it. That's not me, trying to incite it. That's me just reporting what you can see and what is being said. I have to say that because if I don't, the next time I go to check the door, it might be our constabulary come to have a little chat with me because that's extremely possible. So the Irish are rising up, and the problem is with the Irish is once they get their backs up, speaking from military experience near the end of the Troubles, that they don't calm down. Yeah, and people haven't learned from history, have they? It's all going to blow up in the media's faces, just like the Lost Women just did. Yep. It's all going to go wrong. Loose Women did. Yeah, of course it is. Everything's... See, what's happening? In what, Blue? Welcome. And in what? What's happening as in Ireland, where we were talking, or the thing we started with, which was the air crash? That's the only two things I've covered so far. But yeah, the Irish are kicking off, and they're not going to back down. They're really not going to back down. Coming to near you. Well, as much as I don't condone the violence, as much as I don't think it's the right thing to do because of all the complications that it leads to, if our politicians and our media keep doing what they're doing, which is deliberately in provoking and stoking it, sooner or later, I fear that it may. Trying to be careful there, how I say it. This is why I always say, do not screw with the Irish. PD, you're right, you don't. Never do. Incredible how Starmer misled the public about the VAT revenue private school fees are actually going to go. Why is anyone surprised? Oh, and by the way, they're actually not getting anywhere near what they thought they were going to get. And the impact of the VAT on private schools was apparently only going to affect 3,000. Well, so far it's 13,000 kids, rising to, as projections go, to 53,000 children. But the biggest impact of all of that of course, is the SEND kids, who are usually have to be put in private schools because they're the only ones who can provide them the educational needs they need. So after fighting for ages to get out of the state system to be educated with some people who can actually do it, they now can't afford it, so they've got to go back into into schools that can't cope and deal with what they got now, let alone anything else. Brilliant idea. Lobster. The biggest problem with the Pearson is not the eyes you see. The Pearson won't cope with these things. Also, one of the girls' concerned father is exactly. It's literally down. It's not race, is it? It's down to people who shouldn't be there. Pure and simple. Because apparently the two who got arrested and have been charged had to go to court and had to have an interpreter. But there isn't a problem. It's the rioters and the far right thugs that's a problem. I fully support the Ulster Patriot. It took something like us for both sides to unite. You're right, the Irish haven't lost the will to fight. No, and they haven't. They're damn good at it as well. I'm not going to lie. They are really good at it. I feel it will come across the Irish scene. A lot of people I've seen, a lot of commentators are saying, is it the potential spark for? Have you heard the saying, how many people to change your line board? Where you see the man at the bus stop with the Tony Cup? Yeah. And adding the VAT is going to make it a loss. Exactly. You see, what happened with the VAT on private schools is nothing about giving money back to state schools. This is about Bridget Phillipson, because she was bullied when she was at Oxford and she's got an axe to grind. You see, what we've got is we haven't got politicians who are here to lead a country. We've got politicians here, as in Starmer, Rayner, Lammy, Cooper, all the front bench. They're all doing it because they have axes to grind. It's all about personal revenge for them, nothing to do with the country. They're making us all suffer for whatever shitty thing happened to them back in their past. And that's what they're doing. They're screwing us over. Social housing belongs to people who are born and bred in the UK and worked here long hours. I mean, well, this is another thing we can go on to reform. As I said, the video I did do this morning was about reform and red flags. I was expecting a subscriber drop, and in fact, I got an increase. And it's amazing how many people seem to have finally woken up to the reform thing. But if you go by Nigel Farage's definition of what makes a Welshman, anyone who's lived there between 5 to 10 years and paid tax makes them a Welshman. We're fucked. I can't move to Canada for 5 to 10 years, pay taxes, and that makes me Canadian. I'm English. I'm English because my roots go all the way back as far as I can remember. I've always been English. You can't move to another country and after 10 years and pay a bit of tax suddenly become English. As in LA, you can't suddenly, after being in their America for ages, suddenly not become Mexican. Not forget that you're Mexican and become American. It doesn't work like that. You're always Mexican. And that is just an absolute shitfest. Labour, honestly, is the most vindictive government we ever had. Agreed, Sadako. Absolutely horrendous. I still believe the economy has been pushed off a cliff. Our economy will crash soon. It is. We're in trouble. A lot of economic experts have already said that Britain's gone past the tipping point, and we're screwed. It's just While locals struggle to afford housing, the bulk of new builds are quietly being reserved for illegal immigrants and newly arrived foreigners. It's not quietly. Angela Rayner specifically said that the vast majority of the new housing, social housing, would be given to immigrants. Where do you think all of these people who are going out to hotels are going to go? You ask them, they won't answer, but it's blatantly obvious. Oh, and get rid of the vagrancy laws means that now they can just live on the streets if they want, and there's nothing they can do. I know it's Osborne 2.0, absolutely. It's sad because things I still like about reform, but the party could and should be doing so much better, but it's never going to. I keep trying to explain, and the flack I get, but the simple truth of the matter is, if the media are telling you that these are going to be your next party and he's going to be your next leader, that should concern you. Why are the media pushing it so much? Because they're trying to get you to concentrate on them and not people who actually stand up for what you really believe in. Reform has lost my vote. I'm waiting for Ben and Rupert. Let's see how that pans out. 6 months reform will be a memory. They're going to crash. And the thing is, not by any other reason but by themselves. For Richard Tice to turn around and say, when asked about the replacement of, you know, white people in Britain, first he didn't see it being a bad thing, and then he went, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'll be long gone by then." There's your reform. That's the people who are supposed to care for you. Those are the people who are supposed to represent you, who basically couldn't give a shit because they'll be dead by then. Greek proverb: old men plant oak trees, knowing full well that only their children and grandchildren will rest in its shade. Due to reform, it doesn't. None of them seem to give a shit because they'll all be dead by then. So fuck it. I know I've had arguments like this with historical middle-aged women assistant and everybody has British passports, but no, they're not. Just because you hold the British passport does not make you British. In any case, what is British? What is British? You see, I don't see myself as British. I'm English first. My heritage, my roots, my ethnicity is English, as it is for Scots, Welsh, and Irish people. Their ethnicity is centuries of being able to trace back, and you still being English or you still being Welsh. It blows my mind. Great Britain being British now is an umbrella for being whatever you're not. You are either English, Scottish, Welsh, or Irish. Great Britain's just a terminology for all of us together. But ethnicity-wise, you are one or the other. It's as simple as that. They're building social island, Leamington and a sports field. Of course they are. That makes absolutely perfect sense. Belmont, Dresden, what to say? Ooh, nice, but true. I like Leamington. I hope it's going to be ruined. Everything's going to be ruined. Everywhere. I've got people who I know live right down in the rural parts of Devon. And in their little village, they're having 600 houses built on the side. And the first phase, which is 100, are done. And they're all full of immigrants. They've never seen a black or brown person ever in this little village. And now they're shipping them in. Exactly right. Andy the Gabby says the same thing. Well, it's true. It's we seem to think, oh, we're British. Yeah, because yes, it's the flag. You know, the Union Jack is Great Britain, and that makes you British. But in reality, you're one of 4 cultures, ethnicities. That's what we are. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you want to argue till you're blue in the face or not, that's as simple as that. Yeah. You used to have it on the back of my FE 432, you know, the old troop carrier. You used to say, yeah, British by birth, English by the grace of God. It's as simple as that. So I'm trying to catch up. But realistically, how many homes do you think Stone will actually manage to build? That's 1.5 million target. Sounds like a huge stretch. It works out about he's got to make 14,000 houses every night. But the thing is, it's not homes. He didn't say homes. They're not saying homes. They're saying living places. So that's a 1-bedroom flat. Will he get to send troops or police in the UK? Will we allowed to send UK forces back in? Never mind having a... Well, don't even go there. It's an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Being born into the part of one of the 4 countries from 2 other people, one of the 4 countries having lineage is this country. Yeah, there you go. That's fair enough. Here in Lichfield, they're building thousands of houses. They're going on for years. We're getting inundated with boggling men. Everywhere, it's human waste on the sidewalks and people. Yep, absolutely. Well, as I said, literally round the corner from me, I've got a house full of skinnies that have just appeared, and every day I see more and more boglins. Every day. It's just getting bad. Exactly. I'm a naturalised citizen from Europe. I'm married to Liverpool, but I would never claim to be ethnically British. Exactly. And that's not being offensive. It's just you are what you are, where you are ethnically come from, no matter what. It's just the way it is. It's not racist or being nasty or being vile. It's just that's what you are. That's your makeup. I'm waiting for the government to tell us all baby girls have to have M&G before leaving. It wouldn't surprise me. You see, hello Marilyn, welcome. It's like, you know, when we could go down the trans route, yeah? No matter how much you change your body from the outside, inside, you're always going to be the gender you were born. No matter how much you change the outside, no matter how much you tell people otherwise, you are what you were born, irrespective. And it doesn't matter how many times you can yell and scream and shout and call everybody transphobic. The simple truth of the matter is that's reality. Same for ethnicity, yeah? Any mini or baby bogliums yet? Yep. The school's getting overrun with them. Genuinely. I mean, my youngest daughter's school, on Eid, a class of 33 went down to a class of 14. And out of that, 9 of them were white kids. The other day I was downtown Lichfield. Bear in mind I'm still struggling to walk. Was feeling so many years. 10 boglins walking side by side, wouldn't budge. I had to jump. Well, it doesn't. Oh, they were exactly. They don't care. The arrogance of them. Why on earth do you get Sadiq can't get knighted? Because it's a sticking the finger up to people again. It's as simple as that. And his speech, he's smug arsehole. And he's smug because he can just get away with it. Like they all are. They all know they can get away with it because they're protected. They see that even down to the basic by my kids' school. They're all illegally parked. Traffic warden won't touch them because they know and they won't. Can we just start selling them in toy corner shops again? Why not? Silver Socks, they're living in Cloud Cuckoo Land. He was in that trade for 35 years. Jeff, he's right. I've got a brickie who lives literally next door. He owns a brick build, and he said there's no way in hell. He said they're rushed off their feet. There isn't enough people to do it. And also, at times, they've had to stop work because they've run out of materials. It's irrelevant what they scream about. They're going to build this, they're going to build that. The simple truth of the matter is there's not enough workers. The materials are far too expensive, and they're also scarce. When you've got a bricklayer who has to come home because he's ran out of bricks, or they can't do anything because the chippies ran out of wood, or you just can't do it. All governments have made this mistake. They're going to build these many houses without actually asking the builders whether that's even attainable. Because if they did, the builders would go, you're having a laugh somewhere, we're struggling to do what we're doing now. It's absolutely better. No, little kitty, you stay safe. Britain and the UK are corporate names for our islands. Hello, Martin, and bang on the nose. Absolutely. 100%. But yeah, there's no way in hell they could build all these houses in the time that they say. They should have starting from when I did a calculation. I think it's on X somewhere. Can't find. I worked it out. And there's no way in hell they can make it. I mean, and every day they don't do it, the number they have to build every day goes up. No chance. Do they not know that it's going to come back and haunt the politicians in not severe future? I don't think they don't care. They're so wrapped up and blinkered in their opportunity for petty revenge for whatever, whether their mother didn't hug them or their dad didn't tell them he loved them or whatever trauma that they've gone through, that they're making everybody else of us suffer. Sarah Pooch is singing holding up Reform's poll numbers. If not the fact she's a woman, Sarah will be gone soon. Mark my words. She's not towing the party line. She'll be gone. Sorry, Great Britain. Irrelevant, mate. You're absolutely a Great Britain. Britain, you can't call this country great anymore. As painful as it is to say that, there's no way in hell that this is a great country anymore. It's gone. It really has. How the little fucker paying £450,000 a day for someone to clean graffiti off the ground? Well, exactly. You can't do it. It's been allowed. The decay is being done on purpose. It's wherever boglims are, the place goes to shit in a handbasket. If I took you down Small Heath now and showed you it, well, I'm literally like it's as I said before, it's Afghanistan. Well, it's Afghanistan, Iraq, in the first section, and then when you go about halfway up closer to the Blues ground, it turns into Mogadishu. Building supplies have been reduced for years, exactly because they just haven't got it. You try and just go and get some flipping fence panels and see how much they've fucking gone up by. They're ridiculous now. And because I've got to do a fence in my back garden. Now I can get the panels now, but there's a shortage on posts, and I want gravel kickboards. can't get them at the moment. And if I, well, rephrase it, I can, but they're ridiculously expensive. Once Charles has died, I want the monarchy dissolved. You know, it could die. It could be dissolved now. To be fair, in my opinion, the monarchy died the second the Queen died. Once the Queen died, and I've been a royalist all my life. The second Her Majesty died, I couldn't give a shit about the royal family because they're all traitors. They're all scum. And I don't care what anyone says, you can argue or not, he's a converted Muslim, genuinely. Voter apathy is the main problem. This is the biggest problem, but that again is being engineered on purpose. They don't want us to vote. Because if we suddenly realise that we could all vote one particular way, they'd be screwed. But they make it so, what's the point? Chuck is just as bad. He's been converted out. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, Gobby, can't wait till we start having gladiatorial matches in Wembley Stadium, not so near future. Yeah, Thunderdome, wouldn't it? Socialist Kingdom with totalitarian Britain, more like, yes. And you think socialists and kingdom are mutually exclusive, indeed. Aston's just a bad boy, Villa Park, small leaf by the blue. It's horrendous. You literally walk through the third world to get to your football stadium. Now, Birmingham City are going to build a new stadium with a sports quarter in the middle of fucking Mogadishu / fucking Baghdad, downtown Baghdad, Islamabad and everything else. It's going to look fantastic, but it's going to be overrun. It really is. 100%, mate. Well, Elizabeth, as I'll ask, 100%. My oath to the king and queen is just gone. It's really, really bad. You know, it's one of the few times I actually did a live stream the day she died, and it's one of the few times anyone, including Mrs. G, has ever seen me crying. I was genuinely upset when she passed away because I knew what had happened. It was more than just a brilliant lady passing away. It was the end of the country as far as I could see. Although apparently some people have asked me, why? Give me examples how the country's destroying. If you can't fucking see it, I'm not going to show it you. Sort it out for yourself. Just open your eyes. I was watching Tatomi today, what he said about what the BBC did set him. Well, what do you expect, Jeff? They're going to keep nailing him because he has a following and he's more powerful than he possibly can remember. Yes, I remember that stream. Yeah, I was really emotional. Really genuinely emotional. I think the only other time I've cried on here is when I lost my best friend, John. That was hard as well. Agree, when the Queen passed away, the monarchy went with it. Absolutely. And so did the country. Because if you just pay attention, it's had a marked drop since she died. Even more so than before. People don't want to see it, tend to be the kind of people just like because, well, yes. So I'm having arguments at the moment on X over things because apparently I have to justify myself. I don't have to justify myself to no one. If you don't like it, I don't give a shit. Does Britain need an Anglo-Saxon king? It would be nice if we went back to an Anglo-Saxon king, but the monarchy's dead. Let it die. Let it just go. The BBC are just very jealous. Yeah, they are. Again, a load of people in a thing, doing something, motivated by petty jealousy and revenge for not being loved by somebody. Do you know the latest update on Angela's work to define Islamophobia? It'll be whenever it suits her. We already have her definition of Islamophobia is pretty much Keir Starmer's, which he said during the Southport riots. And I will tell the Muslim community this: we will stand by you and we will protect you. Do you need to be told anymore? Princess Anne would have made a better queen than Charlie. Yes, she would, but she's too outspoken and too straightforward for that. They would never. The end of what we all knew. Correct, 100%. The end of everything. There's a reason why the late Queen didn't advocate until the less press. She knows the sun better than we do. 100%, Pom. 100%. Yeah, big stuff really, Gobby, but that means you have a good heart. Thank you, Jeff. Missy says to me, "Oh, you've got no feelings." I have, but yeah, it's hard out. It's a hard exterior, but I'm a typical kind of squaddy, I guess, where I grieve on my own, or when there's no one in the room, which makes it easier doing it this way. To be fair, because you can do it because there's no one there. I agree, Anthony. Regent last Paradise. Yep. We will what? Imagine if the English were to nominate a new king with immediately a black flip. Who would you nominate? I mean, I know a lot of people would go Tommy Robinson, but the thing is, they probably wouldn't want the job. They probably wouldn't want the job at all. Who would, to be fair? It's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah, it's it's horrendous, to be fair. I want the Monarchy gone with the Labour Party. Carol, welcome. And yeah, because the monarchy is no longer, it isn't what it used to be. And as I said, I used to be a royalist, a real serious royalist. Now, sausage fingers can go take a very long walk off an exceedingly short pier as far as I am. Nick Taccone. Yeah, I do like Nick. I do like a man who's driven. King Gobby has a nice ring. I don't want that job. But then again, it's a phrase dreamed up by the Boglin Brotherhood because they're jealous of the Stonewall members should have been banned, but Boglims have a massive chips on their shoulders. They certainly do. Anne would have made a better king. Yeah, well, I like Princess Anne, but she's too straightforward. And we all know she was the one who apparently allegedly called Meghan, I change my race when it suits me. Markle's baby, the colours, Arisa Beckham. I mean, what the fucking hell? Why do we give David Beckham a night? I mean, that's good, but they gave Angela Thornberry a damehood for what? For what? What's David Beckham got it for? Because he can kick a fuck. We've literally, I mean, that award used to be given to real heroes and heroines, really important people. Now we give it to people who can kick a fucking football and tell people to tear down the cross of St. George. I like Nick. Hello, Sean. Yeah. Went to the doctor today with a hearing problem. Doctor me describe the symptoms. Homeless. Yeah. Yeah, nice one. I like that one. Nick just isn't getting his local council candidates in place. Yeah. I think with UKIP again, like with the other parties, I think funding is beginning to be an issue. Yeah, big ears and sausage fingers. It's 2025. We need to stop being a slave nation. No king should be above all human beings. 100%. Always reminds, whenever you talk about that, it always reminds me of that Monty Python sketch, isn't he? He's the king. I don't remind me of voting for him. He's not my king. Meghan Malarkey has been lying all this whole time. Well, I mean, she weren't pregnant when she did that dance. My wife's had 7 kids. I know what a pregnant is. No way my wife wouldn't be able to do that. No way. No way. David Beckham got it for crying like a baby. David Beckham got it because he's David Beckham. And to be fair, as much as he screams and shouts, he wasn't that great of a footballer. That's probably going to get me more aggro than saying Reform are a bunch of liars. Would you before Corbyn over Stone, or would that be worse? I'll be honest. Anything to do with Labour is bad. You see, we always like to say, history repeats itself. Yeah, well, no one looks that every time the Labour Party's been in power, the country's ended up financially worse and in a shithole. Corbyn, no. Corbyn is a terrorist-loving arsehole. I ain't got time of day for him. What did the Romans ever do for us? Exactly. Sometimes, perhaps the Romans stink. Can we go back to when Romans ruled? Or at least, not the new BBC history one, where they're now saying there were black Romans in the legions. And they must have watched apparently the black people who built Stonehenge. Nor was Gary Lineker. No, Lineker was just a goal hog. David queued up to see the Queen. I think that's why. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Unlike the fucking, was it Holly Willoughby and Philip the Kiddie Fiddler Schofield, allegedly. Ben Walker is getting ready to fight the Australian election. He has a UKIP chairman and a great bloke like Nick Taccone. Great. Absolutely brilliant. And have an elected president instead. Arise, President Blair. Oh, God, yeah, can you imagine? I've done a video series on Corbyn at the end of last year. Yes, you did. Look, if no one's been over to Sadico's channel, pop on over. Yeah, he does some really, really good videos. Very in-depth, very worthwhile watching. Well worth popping over there. Popular in front of Judah. Oh, dear me. So, what have we managed to do with Willabooby? Oh, you see, the thing is, I used to like Willabooby. And then I realised she was just a complete and utter spineless, nasty little bitch. Shame, really. Bigger stickers. See, even I can't stop laughing at that. Bigger. Philip and Simon Scarfield, no relation. Hold on, let me just check that was my phone. Nothing important. Warmonger, yep. If Starmer is so quick to give up the control of Gibraltar, it's only a matter of time before he gives his slave reparations. Oh, he's going to. You know he is. You know he is. Stalin was a lawyer for the terrorists, and that, yeah, absolutely, he was. Well, Gibraltar's been completely and utterly betrayed because now it's up to the Spanish who enter Gibraltar. I mean, and he goes, oh, no, it's fine. This is step one to give it away. Next will be the Falklands. Next will be giving. I mean, to be fair, though, Che Guevaра's gone, Gibraltar. What's gone? What's next? Falkland Islands. That'll be the next one. No one ever liked her for her brain. No, I didn't like her for her brain. I'm not going to lie. Willabooby for a reason. Gibraltar, they sold Gibraltar out. It'll be gone. I mean, I forgot to mention, we should, Sadico's, thanks, PD. PD Rich has put a link to Sadico's channel. Pop on over there to have a look and give him a subscribe. He does some great videos. All his library is doing what it wants to hurt the country. You could bet it's back so anyone else to get to. But I've already said to people, by the time we get round to the new general elections, it'll be absolutely totally irrelevant who's voted in because it's screwed. It'll be that they won't be popular because of the decisions they have to make to try and fix stuff. Yeah, Falklands are going to go. Striking roughly Centurion. Can we give the Starmer away to the US? I don't think the US wants him, to be fair. In Content of Buttercups. Will Benidorm get closed? I don't know. They might keep Benidorm. But it's just like, you can see it. They're just giving everything away. As I was about to say, we need to thank the Labour Party because in reality, the Labour Party have actually managed to reduce the tax burden on everybody living in Mauritius. Because of the money we're paying for the Chagos Islands, the Mauritians have said that they can reduce income tax to next to nothing because we're paying for there. So, yeah, well done. Labour have managed to bring down taxes in a foreign country. You literally couldn't make this shit up, could you? At this rate, Starmer's next move, we're handing our country over to the Middle East. We are the Middle East already, aren't we? As far as I'm compared. Apparently, Labour want to make the state pensions means tested. So when we reach for pension age, we'll have to be means tested benefits instead of pension. Wouldn't surprise me at all. They hate us all. They want us all dead. If they gave away the Falklands, there would be a well, would they? Would they really? Sometimes I do despair. Yeah, of course. That's right, Jeff. They did. They referred to Port Stanley's airfield, Falklands, with the Argentinian name. Then Bermuda and the Essential Islands. They'll get all the Essential Islands. They'll give them away. Well, and we'll probably what we'll do, give the Essential Islands back. I mean, who the hell will we give the Essential Islands to? I mean, it literally is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Give them to Senegal, and then we'll Côte d'Ivory, and then we'll pay them 68 billion quid so we can keep a base there. So Scotland will soon be part of Ireland, Wales, and part of Spain, something like that. Okay, Houston should put a good video on the streets of NI. Yeah, we should pop over and I'll watch that in a minute because we'll be bringing this one to a close in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'll get rid of the Isle of Wight. There's nothing wrong with the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight's nice. I went on holiday there once when I was 6, I think it was 7. Didn't go back again. Wonder why that was. Maybe the Isle of Wight wasn't so good. I don't know. Any case, I'm Scottish. What you mean, yeah? Give it to the Boglims. That sounds good. Bring down taxis in London. Black cabs and stuff. Yep. Oh, that's something else. They want to bring in driverless taxis next. That'll be fun. The world's going mad. It is absolutely mad. I mean, they could all go there. Yeah, they could. They could, what? I think. Well, what? Shall we evacuate everybody out of the Isle of Wight, and then just put all the Boglims on there and give them the Isle of Wight as their own country, and then border it. And then if anyone comes in a dinghy, they get put in the Isle of Wight. Thanks for replying to a message on Discord. You're more than welcome. Scottish YouTube, Scottish Travel, blogger Steve Marsh. I've got verbal voice, traveling in the US under Trump administration. Unbelievable. It is. And as I said, I follow two True Blue Travelers, and they went to the US, and the amount of fucking abuse they got from people because they went to America, so much so, it really upset Jess, the lady. She was really genuinely upset that people are giving abuse because they went to the United States of America, and people hate it because of Trump. People need to get a fucking life. They need to get a grip. Steve Marsh just going around, just doing a vlog for travelling because he travels, gets abused. Grow up. Just grow up. I've just had enough. Is Jersey up for the chop? Possibly. It's not big enough. Well, that'll be their problem. It sounds like a them problem, not a me problem. The rise of the Uber driverless cars, which is great, unless, of course, you're disabled. And then what are you going to do? Great show, Jay. Just sitting listening in. Hope you're well. Thanks, Jay. Nice for you to be here, mate. Nice one. Thanks for listening in. Escape from the Isle of Wight. That makes a good film. There's a good film. PD, we've copyrighted that between the two of us. So if you only see Escape from the Isle of Wight, it was me and PD. Well, it's PD's idea, and I broadcasted it, so it's between the two of us. We've copyrighted that. So Hollywood, piss off. That's ours. Just Bill World, California. No, we should do what they do. Was it Superman 2 when he wanted to detonate nuclear weapons so it would float off into the sea? I think that's what they need to do with the Californians, if they're so determined. And apparently it belonged to Mexico. And so, well, half of America belonged to us. So does that mean we're not allowed to grow up? These people just do it by head. They have no idea. I'm calling it night for like God, mate. Night. It's all right, mate. I'm going myself. So no, for giant claw on top of the cab. Yeah. Bugger off. I'm an Isle of Wight. I don't want them here. Well, we apologise. You can come live here. But then again, you may want to stay where you are. It might be better there because I don't know what the situation is in the Isle of Wight for the immigration things. I mean, it's a bit of a long way for a boat to travel, I guess. But then again, so's Ireland, but they're getting there. I lived on the Isle of Wight. Well, see, it's a popular place. Respect to the Isle of Wight. Ultra Natural is correct. Yes, to our fellow brothers and sisters on the island that most of us forgets there. I'm joking. Really, I'm joking. Well, a lot of buddies are going to go to belong to Mexico real soon. Yeah, I'm flipping. Who says? Right then. It's coming up to that hour. It's time to knock it on the head. I've got stuff to do. I need another drink of coffee. I'm running out of energy. Off to watch Summer of Love. Enjoy, jokers. Enjoy. This Christian go, why should we give them the Isle of Wight? Just feed them to the sharks. Well, honestly, if it was me, I'd just meet them out there in a boat with a 50 cal. Allegedly. A toy one, obviously. I mean, got to be careful. Nothing for them here. Well, that's it. We're all moving to the Isle of Wight. Okay, we're all emigrating to the Isle of Wight. We're going to make the Isle of Wight literally the Isle of Wight. I think, where was it? Somebody said that. I don't know where you saw it before. I just quickly go. There was a podcast and somebody went, we should move all the white people onto their own island. And this bloke went, yeah, but you'd all want to come there then because it'd be the greatest island known to man. And with that, I am going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for popping on over. You have been awesome mother truckers, as always. Thank you again. As I've said before, without you lot, this would be nothing. I'm always honoured and touched by the amount of people who pop in, all you wonderful human beings that you're all special. Don't let anyone tell you that anything otherwise. You are important and you are needed. And here we look after each other. We've got each other's back. There is the Discord. There is gobstertalks@yahoo.com if you need to email me. You can direct message me on X, which I'm on Gobster. That all the links are down below. We're here for each other. This is our community. We stick together. Every single one of you is important, and every single one of you is loved by somebody somewhere. Don't let anyone grind you down. Do not give in. We must keep the light burning. You've been awesome as always. And with that, I'm gone. So, until the next one.
Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present.